Guys, this is Lala Legacy and welcome back to another episode of Cinderella Phenomenon. So, let's jump right back in. Rumple was silent for a few moments before his eyes light up once again. Anyway, shall we go stock up on our medicine? I thought you said medicine wasn't always helpful. Because it's not, but I also know that Anise uses mostly herbs and that she tries to handle things without too much medication. She's quite capable. We enter the shop, and in no time at all, Rumple spots the items on our list. We use up the rest of our money to buy the medicines and remedies that we need, and then we begin to head back to the tavern. On the way there, Rumple strikes up a conversation again. So, Princess, have you given any thought to what I said before? About what? You've already forgotten. About making people happy. What? You know, you can make me happy right here and now by giving me a kiss on the cheek. I stare blankly at him before just walking away. No, thank you. And alas, my hopes are dashed again. When we are at the outskirts of town, I pause and turn around. It is as if I can feel eyes on my back, but I do not see anyone openly staring at me. Is someone watching me? Suddenly I feel warmth in my hand, and fingers interlace through mine. Rumple pulls me a little closer, his expression oddly gentle. Don't worry, my sweet princess, you're safe with me. Suddenly, his face is a lot closer to mine, and I can see his features more closely. It is like the night in the forest, except his face is not marred by the same shadows. There is caution in his eyes, but it is not directed at me. Do you see someone following you? No, I just thought I felt someone looking at me. Better stay together then. We begin walking again. The two of us begin to head back to the Marchen. Rumple has all the bags in one hand now. He hums a little bit as we walk. It is remarkably peaceful, so much so that I do not even mind him holding my hand. It suddenly feels a lot safer. I am so lost in reverie that I do not even notice when we turn and go in the opposite direction. This is not the way back to the Marchen. On the contrary, it's just a more scenic path. Don't you like the forest, Princess? The shafts of light coming in through the canopies, the soft blades of grass that tickle your ankles. It's such a romantic place. No matter what he says, this does not lead back to the Marchen. It is not a scenic path or a path at all. We're just gonna stop walking. I instantly root myself in place. And even though Rumple is far taller than me and far stronger, he stops after noticing that I am no longer walking. Oh, Princess, did you want to stop and admire the scenery? Why are you taking me through here? I do not care about scenery, and I do not care about walking anywhere with you. Ah, Princess, your honesty really is a treasure. One day I will make it so you enjoy going to places with me, not just holding my hand. I quickly slide my hand out of his, my face feeling somewhat hot. Ah, there's the sweet rosiness to your cheeks. You never answered my question. It's a detour. We were only going to be in here for a few minutes. If you thought you saw someone's eyes on you, it's better to divert their attention away from the Marchen. And before you say it's dangerous, yes it is. But we're still not far enough away from town to worry about safety. And I believe I can protect you. Won't you compliment my cleverness, sweet princess? He takes a step forward, bridging the short distance between us, and then suddenly his fingers are around my wrist again. But he does not lace his fingers through mine. Instead, he takes my hand in his and pulls it up to his face. Before I realize it, my hand is on his cheek, his hand cupping my own. Aww! Princess, you can trust me. Always, I mean. I can sense that sometimes you trust me, and sometimes you don't. But you don't need to be so cautious around me. I shower you with compliments because I believe you deserve them. I tell you that I enjoy being around you because I do. I should be focusing on his words, but all I can look at are his eyes. What do I need to do for you to fully trust me? Mother told me that people lie, so how can I trust that everything he says is the truth? Perhaps if I stopped throwing compliments at you, you would not be you without all of the compliments. What am I saying? I always complain about his compliments, but the thought of Rumpel without compliments is strange. So you do enjoy my compliments, sweet princess? No, What? Words have deserted you. I understand. Being so close to me would have that effect on any woman. Something bright and angry flares up inside of me. Something that I don't understand. I pull my hand away from him, a scowl on my face. Was it my big mouth again, princess? Come on, let us go back to the Marchen. I started walking ahead, but Rumpel rushes to catch up with me. I clench my fingers and let out a silent sigh. Rumpel was being nice to me again, but I always reject his kindness. Because it cannot be real. Ooh, they're getting closer. Days go by. I consider Rumpel's advice, but I refuse to flirt with anyone again. But I have no idea how to make anyone happy. Rumpel told me that I cannot make anyone happy without knowing anything about them and listening to them like I did with Anise. But what reason do I have to listen to people? This is so frustrating. Days later, Rumpel and I sit at a table waiting for our work orders. Rumpel is on the verge of conversation when we suddenly hear Parfait speaking in the doorway. Rumpel picks up on the words before I do and rushes over to the front door. He looked almost nervous. Who's at the front door? I excuse myself briefly, telling Anise that I will be back. I make my way over to the front door, and there I see 3 people in conversation. There is Rumpel and Parfait and a very pale man. The pale man looks like death itself, like he might just keel over. I can help him. Rumpel! He needs help. He can stay in my room instead. I can even restock the medicines on my own if need be, so please let me help him. There's a desperation in Rumpel's eyes that I have never seen before. He looks at Parfait pleadingly, all the while holding the man by the shoulder to steady him. What is happening? Oh, princess, this man heard about Rumpel through one of the men at the tavern. He's sick and doesn't have a lot of money to pay for treatment. He came here seeking Rumpel. He must have been able to find this place because he was cursed. Does he even have the money to pay? Rumpel turns to me with a frown on his face. I have never seen him look at me so sternly. Princess, you remember what I told you before? He was insistent that a doctor's #1 priority was to help their patient, regardless of their monetary situation. Take him to your room then, Rumpel. I will have Anise assist you if she's willing. No, Anise does not need to worry herself. I think she'd want to help you. The two cut their discussion short when the man starts coughing, a terrible hacking cough that paralyzes him. Rumpel steadies him, and then he begins to slowly move him towards his room. Don't worry, princess, he'll be fine. What? I can see the worry on your face. Rumpel will be fine. Why would I worry about Rumpel? Because it's not like you to worry about someone you don't know at all. He looked so alarmed. I've never seen Rumpel look like that before. It is not like him. Rumpel knows what he's doing. I'll have someone else assist you with serving today, so no worries. Parfait comes through on her promise. When I go back to the bar, both Anise and Rumpel are gone. Karma, or Miss Karma, is there instead, looking disgruntled. Waltz would be better at this. Why do I have to help? Because Waltz is busy doing his puppet shows, and Rumpel is helping a sick man. Oh, well, I guess there's nothing to do about this then, other than enjoy it. He flips his hair and smiles brilliantly. I will attract all the customers today. Perhaps we should have a competition, Princess. Compete with yourself. I am really not in the mood for karma right now. Then I shall definitely compete with myself, because challenging yourself is important. Karma picks up waiting tables fairly easy. I notice that he speaks very fondly to the girls, but they are not as receptive as they are with Rumpel. Many times they ask Karma where Rumpel is, and he just seems agitated when he tells them that Rumpel is busy. They seem just as irritated. Once my break starts, I meet Karma at the bar. He looks depressed. I guess if you and Rumpel competed to woo girls, he would win. Darling, if I were to shed my disguise right here and now, I would be the clear victor. Since without this disguise, women would flock to me. It is rather uncomfortable to have every woman in Angiel fall in love with you. You look like you were judging me, Princess. Because I am. If only you understood my plight. Karma and Rumpel may speak similarly, but they are still so different. Karma is the type to complain. Rumpel never complains. He is overworking himself for someone else, just like he went out of his way to apologize to me many times. My heart sinks a little bit as I think of him and Anise helping out the sick man. Rumpel did not even want Anise going up there, so he probably wouldn't want me up there either. I could try to go visit him, or I could go back to my room. We're going to go to Rumpel's room. I think I'll go check on him. Check on Rumpel? I hadn't realized I was speaking aloud. I look at Karma, who furrows his eyebrows at me slightly. I honestly don't know how you can stand him as a partner. Why do you dislike Rumpel so much? A lot of things, Princess, but that fight is between us and doesn't involve you. Then do not involve me. You have no need to comment on us being partners. Karma looks at me, wide-eyed and a little shocked. Then a sort of knowing comes to his eyes, and he smiles just a little bit. Yes, I think you should go visit him, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to get him off your mind, would you? He laughs a little before picking up his tray and rushing off to continue his shift. I slowly make my way upstairs, my feet feeling heavy. For some reason, I feel like Karma was right. I make my way over to what I think is Rumpel's door. The door is slightly ajar, and I hear hushed voices on the other side. Those voices definitely belong to Anise and Rumpel. I slowly push the door open and quietly step inside. Rumpel and Anise are standing over the man, who is covered in blankets and coughing. A series of bottles sit on the table close by. None of the herbal remedies are working. We need a medicine for this. I'm sorry. I don't have any more money to offer, Rumpel. Anise, please don't sound so sad. You've already tried helping as much as you possibly can. It's my fault for promising to buy the medicine that we need. I glance at the table where a list is sitting. Beautiful cursive handwriting details everything that the patient needs. Everything is circled except for some medicine at the very bottom that has a star next to it. Is that Rumpel's handwriting? Suddenly the two of them turn. They both look shocked to see me. Princess, what are you doing here? I came to see how you were doing. Princess, I'm fine, but... He glances down at the man on the bed. Anise sighs out a little bit. We've given him what we can, but the one medicine that we need is something we can't afford. Even with the money I'm getting from Lady Parfait, it isn't enough. Oh, whoops, I gave him Karma's voice on accident. Oh well. I walk into the room and glance at the list. I look over at the total for the medicine, then at the coins on the table that I hadn't noticed before. Did Rumpel use all of his money for this stranger? What will happen if you do not get this medicine? Without this, the infection will spread and he goes silent and the man starts coughing again. I can read the answer in his eyes, even if he won't say it. The man could be in terrible danger. He could even die. Rumpel looks defeated. He does not look like himself at all. I glance at the coins again, then at the list. Without a second thought, I grab both the list and the coins. Princess, what are you? I'll be back. I leave the room, even with the niece and Rumple protesting behind me. I make my way to my room, where I pick up the bag of coins that the king gave me when I went to the palace on the day I was cursed. Then I head for the door. I immediately head for the medicine store that we always frequent. I count out the coins that I need to buy the medicine. This will take all of my money, but it wasn't as if I was going to use it for something else. I rush back to the Marchen with the medicine in a little bag, hoping that this is the one that Rumple needs. It is dark by the time I get back to the Marchen. I make my way to Rumple's room again and notice that he is sitting on a stool beside the patient's bed looking at him forlornly. When I enter the room, his eyes go wide. He seems even more surprised when I hand him the bag. Princess, is this... He opens the bag and lets the little vial roll out onto his hand. How did you buy this? I combined your total with the money I had left. Rumple just stares at me, clearly flabbergasted. Then his expression morphs into something softer, something more relieved. He steps forward and suddenly his arms are around me. He grips me tightly and then I hear his voice in my ear. Thank you so much, Princess Melody. My heartbeat picks up slightly. It is so loud I think Rumple might hear it, but when he pulls away he does not say anything. I'll have to thank you for this later, Princess, but for now, you should leave. I don't want you to get sick. I am too dazed to disagree. I nod my head quietly before moving stiffly towards the door. I glance back at Rumple one last time, noticing that he is checking the man's temperature. The moment I leave the room, a flash of light emanates from my chest. I absently touch the glass slipper at my neck, and then I pause as I stare down at it. I feel a soft gasp leave my lips when I notice the fragment of a second slipper. I got my first good deed! I bought the medicine for Rumple, but I only added in a few more coins to buy it. So, what I did today was considered a good deed? I'm confused, but at the same time, I am pleased that I actually managed to get a good deed. Now I only need 2 more. The next day, I go down to the tavern area to begin my work, but I am there a little early. Waltz is working on his puppets at the table, eyebrows furrowed in concentration. When I walk in, he looks up at me and smiles, then raises his eyebrows. Princess, congratulations! You got your first good deed. I did! I knew you could do it. I nod in response. His praise makes me feel oddly proud. I continue my usual work, keeping an eye out for Rumple as I work my shift, but he never appears. A few days go by, and it is only after the man leaves, looking a lot healthier and stable than he was before, that I finally see Rumple. He and the man speak at the front door to the tavern. No, really, sir, I couldn't take anything from you. Nonsense, you saved my life. I need to pay you back somehow. The man is holding money out to Rumple, but Rumple just shakes his head. I notice that there are dark circles under his eyes and that he looks tired. I didn't help you for the money. But I insist. That money could be spent on better things, like your family. You may not take my money, but I promise I will pay you back. Your health is all the reward I need. I promise. I can't thank you enough. After the man leaves, I approach Rumple. He turns to me and leans against the door, a smile still tired but bright. Ah, Princess, came to heal my weary body, perhaps? I would so love another hug. My face becomes hot at the memory of Rumple's hug from the other day. Ah, the natural rouge of your cheeks is so sweet, Princess. It makes me feel infinitely better. And your necklace seems different. I reach up to touch the pendant. Every time I get a good deed, a piece gets added to my necklace. Oh, right! You helped with the medicine the other day. Of course that was a good deed, Princess. It was very selfless of you. Thank you again for that. The man tried to thank you too, but you refused his money. Why? And why did you spend your money on him? Because life is invaluable, princess. No amount of money could ever be more important than a person's life, even if it is someone you do not know. Yes, because everyone has a life, princess. They have loved ones, families, sweethearts. And if I can help them, I will. And I will gladly spend any amount of money to do so. Okay, fine. But why did you not accept any money from that man? Because no amount of money. You needed that money. How are you going to buy more medicines without any money? Rumpel's eyes widened. He was clearly not expecting me to ask that question. But he said before he didn't have much money, and it was true. I can't take money from him when he doesn't have much of it to begin with. He was thanking you with money. You should have accepted it. Parfait pays you, does she not? Rumpel's shoulders sags when he sighs. Yes, even though I won't accept the money from her face to face, she has to sneak it into my wallet. If she does that, why not just accept it from her? I'm trying to make a statement, princess. And Parfait does not seem to care because she sneaks the money into your wallet regardless. You have a point there. You're stubborn. We both are. But that is all the time that I have for this episode, guys. So if you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up down below. And if you haven't already subscribed, by subscribing, you're becoming part of a legacy. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!